welcome to Sona Motivates. So today's topic is 5 techniques to overcome failure. This is a very most requested topic and very common at some. Hello, welcome to Sona Motivates. Today's most requested topic and the very common one is how to overcome failure. I'm going to discuss 5 techniques how you can overcome the failure. And these are some personal stories and anecdotes what I have noticed and I have came through. So let's focus on those. I'm this was actually just requested by some of the viewers from the Panerkar Institute, which we had done this topic on in on one of the Atlanta group, and now we are going to talk about it because this is the most needed at this point because everybody is asking about weight loss techniques and many of us have failed it many times. I won't call it failure, but let's see what we can call it rather. Okay, so I have a very warm-hearted friend named Derek. Okay, we met in one of the entrepreneurial seminars where there were all aspiring entrepreneurs, and I noticed he is a very handsome young man in late 20s and very well built. He was tall and he had amazing personality. A lot. He had that charisma, but somehow he was very. He seemed less confident. So when we started talking with each other, we got to know more about each other and when he came he's like I'm sure you will be very successful in your venture, and I'm like okay, so what about you? He said no, I'm a total failure, and that just blew my mind because I didn't I didn't know it, that he would approach me with that kind of intensity right away, that he'll say something like that. But then he told that he has so many great ideas about entrepreneurial debut, and he tried a lot of products and services, and at least 5 he tried by that time, and they have failed. He tried doing the getting a part-time job or full-time job rather, and then he said that it didn't work out because it wasn't his calling. He didn't feel it comfortable. He was in the relationship at first with the girl, but with his very unstable financial status, she decided to leave him. So then when we were talking, he just came out, okay, you know what, at this point I have no money, no relationship, and I'm all over the place, and I've seen it seems like my life is a failure. And that was like a mind altering thing for me. That's when I realized, that I have been through so many of these small setbacks, and then what I did differently, what I can help other people to differently, even in weight loss or in many other paths in life. So the first and the foremost, what I discussed with him, and that's how I started talking to him, is that the first is, first of all, we acknowledge and we learn that this is just a failure, just a first setback. So first, the foremost step in any kind of failure, feeling like a failure, is acknowledge it, that something we were trying to do or you are trying to do hasn't been successful. It might be your weight loss, it might be you were trying to get better in your career, and so you tried some different job prospect, and the interview was failure. You tried to give some presentation at the company you are currently in, and it was a failure. So first acknowledge that whatever it was working, yes, it didn't go well according to your vision. Okay, so that is the first thing, is to acknowledge. Now the most prominently, the second thing it comes to our mind is that, oh, everything is finished. Okay, but now that's when we come up with the second step, is that failure and success, they are not something that are opposites of each other. Okay, I'm sure in English grammar language we have learned it as opposites or antonyms, but no, they are basically in the real life, They are basically just the stations on the same side of the road. Now let's imagine we are going on this journey of ours, and it's a long beautiful road trip, okay, and these are just the gas station stops where we stop, we eat, we fill the gas. So some of them we will name success 1, success 2, the other one will be failure 1, then the success 3, success 4, failure 2, and something like. They are just named that way. It doesn't mean anything, right? No matter what, at this point we might feel it that way. Oh, the thing we have worked out or we were trying to do, it's a total failure. But believe me, it doesn't mean anything. Okay. Now, if you imagine them as a part or as a stop on the same road, then it becomes easy to understand that when you are uh, traveling, it's this on the same side. So we are just trying to get there, get on that thing, get where we want to go, get the experience what we want, and move on. That's when our third step kicks in, and that's learn. Whether it's success or it's failure, no matter what, it's just to teach you something, like just to learn, for us to get something from that output. So we will just note down what we would like to learn from that experience, or at that point, that experiment what we were trying to achieve, right? So now, what happened is, when I was trying to promote G Foods rotis, right? I was rolling them. I was trying to find the market for them. And believe me, when I used to, many times, I tried to give this to the ethnic stores, or even some of my very close people or my acquaintances have tried them, and I got lot of negative feedback, because what happened was everybody was doing it anyway. So I got a lot of criticism for what I was doing, but it wasn't about me, right? So what I learned is that every time I got criticized or somebody said bad thing to the product or something, I'll just write it down, I'll note it down, and try to internalize what is going on. So what happened, when I was marketing this product, and I went to each and every cafeteria around, at least, around 100 miles of this, where we are staying in this neighborhood. And then I go to the cafeteria of the universities, or even in the hospitals and everywhere, and I'll just provide the sample, let them know why I'm doing this, let them know what I'm doing, and then I will just leave, and leave my card and talk to the people, and try to find out where I can fit my product in, because our product is rather very niche and very unique product. It's new to the American palate. Of course, not now. It's already there. But anyway, when I started this journey, so at that time, one of the cafeteria in FAM, Florida Atlantic University, I went there. I met a cafeteria manager, and I left the product. And he was like, okay, fine. We'll see how we can introduce it in the cafeteria later in that year. And so I left. I had left my card there. It didn't work out, of course, and after couple of months, I got a call from one of the employees working there, that she saw that there is one market, one chain stores opening in the neighborhood in Coral Springs. She lives there, and she had tried the sample, and they were giving opportunities to a lot of local products, and she thought, you know what, I think they can help you. I think they will like your product, because I saw it's very niche, it's very unique, it's very healthy, nice, nutritious. So why not you try them? So see, when I came home that day from FAU, I learned that kind of my meeting with that manager was a failure, right? But in long term, it was actually working for me. It was working for better, because then we got in many more stores rather than just one cafeteria. So that's what I'm trying to say, that when we acknowledge and we realize that success or failure on the same side, and I learn from my mistakes, I won't even say it's a mistake, I learned from my experiment or experience, and it was actually working for the best. So even if it is your weight loss journey or weight gain journey, or it is about you giving any competitive exam and not feeling that you are getting the right kind of grades you want, it's just a setback. It's there to teach you something, it's there for you to learn. So it's just one thing in your life, okay? So that is the thing that I learned from it. I used to write down, and then it really helped me. Now the next is, of course, we have to understand that what happens is, when we fail, we think that the whole thing, we as a person are a failure, our life is failure, like my friend Derek felt that day. But remember, when when any time you feel like you're a failure, always try to zoom out, or rather, get in the groove that it's the strategy that failed, or it's the idea that failed, it's the product that failed, it's the service that failed, and it's not you as a person who has failed. So even if you get less grades, or your presentation didn't go well, or any of these things, it's not you as a person, you are just there to witness it, right? I know, and it's easy to say, but believe me, I have experienced it and it has worked. So what happens if you just try to localize it, that it's just the one thing and it's not a global thing in your life, then it becomes very easy to handle it, okay? So it's the strategy, it's the idea, it's the product, it's the presentation, it's just one exam, it's not your life. Please, please, please remember this, that you as a person will never be a failure. It's just that moment. And last but not least from all this is, from all this, what story you tell yourself, that matters. Because the moment you think, oh, you failed as a person, your mind starts going around thinking, oh, this thing didn't work well, this thing, that thing didn't go well. So for say, in your office, your presentation, you were supposed to give a presentation for your increment, and it didn't go well as you have planned, and many of your colleagues and friends might think, yeah, it was okay, it wasn't that bad, but you will start feeling, oh, it wasn't up to the mark and I am a failure, okay? At that time you'll remember, oh, that's why maybe, that day I didn't get salary raise, or I wasn't asked to meet the new foreign delegates, or I wasn't so they didn't invite me to the happy hour, and all these things start rolling in your life, and not, you won't localize it to that point, but then you will move on to, oh yeah, that's why maybe, children disrespect me, or spouse disrespect me, or that's why my friends are not with, something like that. So what happens is, at that moment we are in the spiral roll down, and we start thinking, oh my god, everything in my life is crumbling down, so nothing is going right. But that's the story you are telling yourself. That's not what is actually happening, because those things, they are going around anyway. It's not on that presentation, but somehow our mind is so wired to see negative things first, that we start seeing all the negative points in our life at that time, and we start feeling more failure, more failure in life. So at that moment, when your mind starts doing that, just take a small pause and start remembering, or start going through the things like, what is going right in your life, what is working. Just write down 5 things that are best, and most of the times you will notice that your health is best, especially with these changing times, when we are and we ourselves, our close family members, our friends, our family, and our remote family, everybody, whoever around us is fit and fine, that's the blessing, right? So we have noticed that the health is, of course, very important. So you will notice that, oh, that is going well, of course, I have a great, I have roof, I have food, I can do better, I can figure out, I can learn from mistake. So you will learn so many good things about yourself in that moment. Only the thing is, you have to change the you can say, the recording in your brain, in your head, and just start focusing on what is going good, and the negative talk will just vanish away. So these are the few things that have helped me. These were the five strategies. I will definitely put them down here, but this has always helped me. And there were so many occasions that I always go through these five, and they really bring me out of the rut. I feel sometimes that there are of course ups and downs when you are in any kind of entrepreneurial debut, or even even in of course corporate job, or at some family events. You always feel that you might get in that mindset that you start feeling that you are not successful enough. But once you go through these five strategies and you think these you apply these five techniques, you will get it that, you know what, it's just one idea, one strategy, one prospect, it has failed, but not you as a person. Before leaving, I'll just point this thing out, that even in your weight loss journey, if something is not working for you, please try different things, because everybody's body is different, our metabolisms are different, our age groups are different. So if something has worked for one person, it might not be the exact thing that will work for another person, right? But if you need any help regarding that, please contact me. Please leave your comments, like this video. I'll be posting this video on Sona Motivates YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe, so you will always get these videos at least somewhere in the stack, because sometimes in the feed of Facebook they get lost. So before leaving, I would like to tell you a little bit about Charlie Jones. He was a sportscaster in NBC channel, and in 1996, and he used to actually just cover a lot of Olympic these events. And once he was asked to cover the event of the athletes for those who used to canoe, or they did all kinds of athletic events on the water sports. And when he went there and he talked with them, he was interviewing many of those athletes before the event. He was telling that, how did you handle when it is raining, or when something happens around, or the weather is not permitting, or something is happening to your boat outside, or you get stuck on the near some there are some issues with the water, or something, currents, or something is going on. How do you handle, how do you still keep doing what you are doing? And every time he asked these questions to the athletes, they always answered that it's outside the boat, it's outside the boat. So after coming home, and after realizing, he applied this to his life, and he has wrote a book on this topic, it's outside the boat. And he has told that, you know what, everything what is happening outside is not out in our control. Those athletes always focused on what is inside the boat, what they can do about the situation, or they always had that recording in their brain, where they always focused on what they can do, or what was in their hands, or in their control, and they always worked on that stuff instead of focusing on what is happening outside. I really like this story, and it is very close to my heart, because every time I feel like I'm a failure, I'm not able to reach somewhere, I always remind myself that whatever is happening, it's outside the boat. I always have control and the power to do the right thing in from my perspective. So it's always inside my boat when I can take actions for myself, and that has helped me. I hope this thing or this topic will help you, and these techniques will help you realize how you can work on the feeling of failure. So because failure is not failure, it's just a small setback. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next Wednesday. We are planning a lot of good stuff, and even some of the live smoothie making for healthy weight loss. Stay tuned, and please let me know what kind of videos you would like to watch from me, so I can keep making those for, and I can help you, and we can motivate each other. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.